Unveiling the shadows, the startling revelations of Mary Soames. Mary Soames, born as Mary Spencer Churchill in 1922, might have been the quieter offspring of the formidable Sir Winston Churchill, but her life was far from uneventful. Hidden beneath the veneer of her more subdued public persona were layers of scandal, intrigue, and bold decisions. This video delves into 10 of the most compelling and occasionally contentious episodes from her life, revealing the complex tapestry of a woman who navigated both the echoes of her father's legacy and the whispers of controversy. Fact number 1. Born during turbulent times, September 15, 1922. Mary Soames was born shortly after her father, Winston Churchill, faced a significant political setback due to his involvement in the Chanic Crisis of 1922. This crisis almost led to a British military confrontation with Turkey over the control of the Dardanelles, which could have reignited war in Europe just as the region was beginning to recover from World War I. Churchill's resignation as Secretary of State for the Colonies marked a low point in his career. Mary's birth also coincided with a time of major political transformation in Ireland. The Anglo-Irish Treaty had been signed in December 1921, leading to the establishment of the Irish Free State in 1922. This period was characterized by significant economic difficulty and social strife, as Britain and much of Europe were dealing with the severe aftereffects of the Great War. Number 2. Close encounters with history. Mary Soames, the youngest daughter of Winston Churchill, was privileged to attend significant World War II conferences alongside her father. One notable event was the Quebec Conference in August 1943. Formerly known as the First Quebec Conference or Quadrant. This pivotal meeting involved strategic military planning between British Prime Minister Winston Churchill and U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The discussions focused primarily on the Allied invasions of Italy and France, crucial for shaping the later stages of the war against the Axis powers. Later, in July 1945, Mary also participated in the Potsdam Conference. This critical summit, attended by Churchill, U.S. President Harry S. Truman, and Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin, took place near Berlin. It was one of the last major international meetings of the war, aimed at finalizing plans for the post-war reorganization of Germany and Europe, discussing war reparations, and setting the stage for the geopolitical structure of the Cold War era. Number 3. Active military service in World War II. During World War II, from 1941 to 1945, Mary served in the Auxiliary Territorial Service, ATS, where she was stationed in London. She played a direct role in the city's defense during the most intense phase of the Blitz, which saw London bombarded by over 1 million bombs over the course of the war. Mary operated anti-aircraft guns, a task that placed her and her crew in significant danger, particularly during the Luftwaffe's night raids which aimed to cripple London's infrastructure and demoralize its citizens. Her commitment went beyond typical expectations for women of her status, demonstrating both courage and a breaking of traditional gender roles in military engagements. Number 4. The auction controversy. In December 2010, Mary Soames stirred significant controversy when she decided to auction off several of her father, Sir Winston Churchill's paintings at Sotheby's in London. The collection included 15 of Churchill's artworks, which collectively fetched nearly £1 million. Notably, the auction also featured personal memorabilia and gifts that had been presented to Churchill by various global dignitaries during his tenure as Prime Minister. The sale raised ethical questions about the appropriateness of disposing of items that many considered part of national heritage and global historical significance. Critics argued that such artifacts should be preserved within public institutions to ensure their accessibility for educational and cultural enrichment. Number 5. An unexpected love story. Mary Churchill married Christopher Soames on February 11, 1947, in a ceremony held at the Church of St. Margaret in Westminster, which intertwined personal affection with political alliances. Christopher Soames was an ambitious conservative politician whose career trajectory was significantly bolstered after his marriage to Churchill's daughter, leading some to speculate about the influence of his marital connections. Despite initial skepticism regarding the motivations behind their union, the marriage proved to be a robust partnership, enduring until Christopher's death in 1987. The relationship not only highlighted the personal dynamics within political families but also underscored the complexities of navigating love and ambition within the public eye. Number 6. Diplomatic missteps in France. During the period when her husband, Christopher Soames, served as the British ambassador to France from 1968 to 1972, Mary Soames found herself in several diplomatically sensitive situations due to her forthright nature. Her unfiltered comments occasionally caused discomfort within diplomatic circles, particularly when they touched on contentious political issues or contradicted official British diplomatic stances. For instance, her candid opinions on French politics or her informal remarks on international relations were sometimes picked up by the press, leading to minor diplomatic flurries that her husband then had to smooth over. These incidents highlighted the delicate balance required in diplomatic roles, where personal expression often needs to be tempered by political considerations. Number 7. A literary legacy overshadowed. Mary Soames embarked on a literary career that, while successful, often did not receive the same level of acclaim as the writings of her father, Winston Churchill, or her brother, Randolph Churchill. Despite this, her works provide crucial insights into the personal and public life of the Churchill family. Her first major work, Clementine Churchill, The Biography of a Marriage, published in 1979, is considered a definitive account of her mother's profound influence on Winston Churchill. Other notable works include A Daughter's Tale, the memoir of Winston and Clementine Churchill's youngest child, published in 2011, which offers a personal view of her experiences growing up in the shadow of her father's formidable legacy. Although her meticulous documentation of Churchill family history is a valuable resource for historians, her contributions are often overshadowed by the towering legacies left by other family members. Number 8. The secret letters revealed in the late 1990s. In the late 1990s, it became publicly known that Mary Soames had preserved an extensive collection of private correspondence between her parents, Winston and Clementine Churchill. These letters, which span several decades, provided intimate glimpses into their marriage, personal struggles, and the significant political events of their time. Although the letters offered valuable historical insights, Mary chose to keep them private during her lifetime, fueling speculation about their full contents and the personal revelations they might contain. This collection was partially revealed to the public through her publications, which selectively included excerpts to shed light on her parents' personal and political lives without fully disclosing every detail. Number 9. The Churchill bloodline controversy. Throughout her life, Mary was actively involved in managing the legacy of her father, Winston Churchill, including overseeing his vast archive of documents and controlling the family's portrayal in the media. This role sometimes led to controversy, as critics argued that her stewardship tended to emphasize a heroic and somewhat sanitized image of Churchill, potentially at the expense of a more nuanced historical narrative. These discussions highlighted the challenges of historical legacy management, especially when direct family members are involved in curating the public memory of a figure as towering as Winston Churchill. Critics contended that this approach might skew the public's understanding of historical complexities in favor of a more flattering but less critical portrayal. Number 10. The last of a legendary line. Mary Soames passed away on May 31, 2014, marking the end of an era as the last surviving child of Winston Churchill. Her death symbolized the closing of a direct personal witness to the events and decisions of her father's time, which had shaped much of the 20th century. Throughout her life, Mary had not only been a custodian of her father's legacy but also a living connection to the era of World War II and the vast changes that followed. Her passing was widely noted as the final chapter in the personal history of the Churchill family, leaving behind a rich archive of materials and memories that continue to inform and inspire discussions about their impact on world history and British society.